Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or if you've not been here before, welcome to my channel. In here, we talk a lot about tea. So today I have a tea tasting setup for you of a tea that I have not tried or even opened. So it is this tea, and this is from Yunnan Sourcing. It is their Xiaguan sweet Pu-erh bright Pu-erh mini cake. So it is a mini Pu-erh cake, and it's supposed to be very sweet and smooth. And it is a mini cake that is 100 grams. So let's see what it looks like. There's some stray leaves. Stray leaves. Here's the cake. If I can figure out what I'm doing here. I've never actually had a full Pu-erh cake before, so in this little shopping of Yunnan Sourcing, I did end up with two little mini ones. Yeah, I was drawn to this one because it has little scoring, so supposed to be easy to break apart, and the fact that it is a sweet Pu-erh. It is a ripe Pu-erh. And if you're interested in what else I got from Yunnan Sourcing and you haven't seen that video is up on here. So, trying to not make a giant mess and get it apart. Yeah, sure, this is easy to take apart. So easy to take apart. Yeah, Or I'm just not using the right pressure. Yeah, getting bits of tape. Okay, so there are no instructions on how to brew this, so I'm just kind of going with what I'm assuming might be right for typical Pu-erhs. So I'm going to measure out 5 grams on my little scale over here. Okay, this is way over 5 grams. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it at this little square worth here is 4.7, so we're going to call that close enough. So I am going to do full demonstration on brewing here for y'all. So this, I'm not sure how long this video may take. I'm probably going to cut some bits of brewing eventually, and I won't go into all the steepings. But this may be a bit longer video than some of my others. So I like to try to keep them shorter just so that they're easy to watch. But let me know your opinions of if you would willingly watch longer videos to see more opinion and more breakdown of brewing and such. And if you do not have a gram scale, I got this one off Amazon. It's really nice so far because it's small and seems to be decently accurate. So let's get started here by warming my Xiaguan up. I already had my water on boiling, which when I have a very full pot takes a little bit, so I wanted to have that done ahead of time because it can also be pretty loud. I'm going to see if I can break this up just a little bit. One thing you definitely don't want to do with compressed things is make a mess of tiny pieces, because that's going to make things bitter. So I'm not going to mess with it too much. But yes, so I was really drawn to this tea because it came in this cute little package and had the scoring, because I don't have a Pu-erh knife, and I liked the sounds of a sweet, easy drinkable Pu-erh, and it's also a very, very manageable price for just starting in and trying something. Because that's another thing that I hesitate with buying Pu-erh cakes, is to buy an entire cake can get fairly expensive. And if you're not sure if you're going to like it, a lot of companies do offer samples, and Yunnan Sourcing is one of them. So you want to see what's going to you're going to like there. So I'm going to do a rinse, and I was going to get some sort of timing device, but yeah, so I'll probably rinse this about 30 seconds and see what it looks like. Because with the compressed, you're going to want a decent sized rinse to open up those leaves. So we're going to start with that. If you are interested in this tea, it is available on the Yunnan Sourcing China site. It is not in stock last I looked on the Yunnan Sourcing US site. So I don't know when that may or may not become available over here, but it is in stock on the China site. And this Xiaguan is also from Yunnan Sourcing, and I believe it is available on both right now. Have a lot of scent to it yet. It's like there's a bit of earthiness, but not a whole lot of scent here. Alright, so let's go steep number 1. Since this is actually fairly dark looking, I'm going to keep it pretty short. So probably less than 10 seconds. We'll see what it looks like. It's still fairly compressed though. Looks like it's coloring up pretty well. But yeah, there's not a lot of instructions offered. You just kind of have to play with things, start short, and you can always adjust longer, but if you're just kind of winging it, never kind of trust your first tastings to be like, ooh, I hate this, or ooh, I don't want to try more. Play around with it, which I know is hard sometimes to remember to do. It's like, okay, well, maybe I did brew it wrong, and maybe it is different, because especially Gong brewing, like, seconds can make a big difference to the taste, and temperature, even like 5 degrees, can make a big difference. So I'm going to keep this hot up on brewing. This is a Kitchenaid variable temperature kettle, if anybody is curious about that. It is lovely because it does both Fahrenheit and Celsius, and you set it to the exact degree you want, which is very, very nice. Also found out in higher altitude, it automatically stops boiling at the appropriate temperature for higher altitudes, because I didn't think I was at a higher altitude, but apparently was, and it stopped at 208, so that was fun. But it's nice. It's a liter, I think it's a liter, but it's nice because it's fairly compact and easy to take around with me. But I love, especially for this Gong Fu brewing, for it to be able to it maintains temperature. So that is amazing, and to be able to adjust up and down if I need to, that's also very nice. So yeah, my cup is fairly it's deep and it's thick, so it takes a little bit of time to cool down, so I don't want to burn myself. And I see, yeah, we're already decently far along here time wise, so yeah, like I said, this is going to be a longer video, but I will probably skip some brewings, but I'll let you in on notes of tastings as the brewings go on here. Yeah, so this is my first review on here from that Yunnan Sourcing order that I had a couple weeks ago, and I know one of you, at least one of you, requested a look into some of the Pu-erhs to see opinions on those, so that's what we are starting with. I know I got another request for the Moonlight White, and I will be trying that out as well. I may actually, it's like I kind of hate to use up the tea that fast, but it's like I also have a Moonlight White from White 2Tea, and it's like I could do a side-by-side comparison brew for those to see what those are like. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, or if you'd like, if you want to see both, if you have a preference over Yunnan Sourcing or White 2Tea's version of the Moonlight White. There's not a lot of flavor yet, so it's probably still opening up some. It's like I get a sweetness and a little bit of an earthiness. Here's what it looks like right now. But see, it's still breaking up some. So I'm sure it will develop more into more flavors as we go. Yeah, just faint kind of hint of earthiness. And sweetness, kind of your typical what you would expect from a ripe Pu-erh. So, I'm going to cut this off, and I will be back with the second steep here shortly. Okay, so steep number 2 here I have just poured out, and it is definitely darker. So I will show you that. It's definitely a bit darker. I went ahead and went for about 20 seconds on this one. If you are new to Gong Fu brewing, you do short steeps, but you do want to increase them little bits by little bits as you go. Some tea you're going to want to increase less, and teas you're going to increase more. There are charts that you can find. I found a couple. I know My Leaf has one that I have, and that's MEI Leaf. It's a they are a tea company in England. So they have one, and I found another one. I found a couple on Pinterest, but I'm sure if you just search, you can find other ones just for kind of suggested basic what you want to brew tea at. For Gong Fu style, but for also Western style too, you can find. Some websites, some tea websites will have suggestions. Their suggestions, but their suggestions don't always fit your taste. That's what I found a lot with the heavy roasted oolongs. I prefer to steep those lower because then that doesn't pull out as much of the smokiness, because I'm not as big of a fan of the smokiness. So you want to find your range, and really Gong Fu is just a lot of playing around with tea and exploring all the flavors that the tea can do, which is what I love about it. Yeah, that got a deepness to it. Yeah, that just, I can just feel the flavor just progress down through my tongue, like, oh. It's very interesting. So it does have that earthiness that a ripe Pu-erh does have, but it has a sweetness. But the sweetness isn't. It's not like candy sugar sweetness. It's, I don't know how to really describe it. Especially for those of you who have not really tried Pu-erhs. Or just are not very much into tea yet. It's got a tea sweetness. As I'm not really picking up much individual note-wise, and the description on the website didn't really mention a lot of like distinct like this kind of fruit or anything like that. And it's got that earthy. And sometimes I'm really bad at like finding descriptions. Yeah. But it's got a lot to develop. Like it's just a nice. It's very smooth. It's very just nice. I think it seems really similar to the cozy Pu-erh that Yunnan Sourcing has, if you've had that one, or know about that one. They developed the cozy Pu-erh last year as an experiment of helping get through 2020. I believe it is now available on the US site or it's back on the US site. It had sold out, but I'm pretty sure it's back. And I think they have a new one either coming or already has for 21. So it kind of reminds me a lot of that. But I think I like this better. Yeah, I'm not sure how to describe it right now. But I will move on to steep 3, see if that's any different. But I will catch up with you when I have more notes. So see you soon. Okay, here is steep number 3. Something for if you are newer to Gong Fu as well. Keeping track of steeps is sometimes fun. I lose track of steeps a lot. There are different ways you can mark and keep track of if you really want to remember where you are. Biggest thing is kind of want to remember where you last brewed, or like number wise of where you last brewed. Also for newbies, if you when you're pouring into your Xiaguan, you want to make sure you do not pour the water directly onto the leaf, because that can bring out bitter notes to that. So you want to pour around the rim or just offset of this. I'm starting to wonder if I did not add quite enough leaf here, which might be why it is lighter. But the lightness of this is making me think that this is a pretty good Pu-erh for those of you who are wanting to like kind of start into trying them, because it's nice, it's light, it's got that sort of like what you would expect from a ripe Pu-erh taste, but it's very light and easily drinkable and kind of ease yourself into the whole thing. Though the steep is getting more, just more and more depth to it. Yeah. It's almost got more of a, even more of like an earthy, like dirt taste. And not in a bad way, because you want your Pu-erhs to taste earthy and rocky and like foresty. It's like that's what I really like about Pu-erhs, is that it brings like this nature sense to things, and it's lovely. Yeah. Okay, it still has a slight sweet note. It's not like a sugar hit. It's not even like a sweet fruit hit. It's almost slightly like mineral sort of sweet, maybe? Sweet hay sort of thing? Maybe. It's not overwhelmingly sweet by any means, which is interesting. Being called a sweet Pu-erh, it's not what I would not say it's like over the top or stands out like sweet. It's light and it's drinkable, and it's not bitter. It's very smooth. So in that way, it is sweet. Yeah. This is my descriptions of Pu-erhs. Some teas I'm better at describing than others. This is one that I'm still getting into and getting used to the flavors of, so definitely not an expert here at all. But I do appreciate it. There are some that I do find, like, I feel drawn to the description of ripe Pu-erhs over raw Pu-erhs, but it's like I've had both and have liked both. I haven't found one that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want an abundance of this yet. So I'm still looking for that. Though I have one from Rare Tea, and it's their Malawi leafy Pu-erh, I think. That, like, I could not drink that every day, but it's a very lovely special occasion. Like, it tastes like going for a hike after a rainstorm. And I love teas that you can produce, like Pu-erh teas, where it can evoke a memory, it can evoke a sensation. Like, that is, like, I love those kind of descriptions versus flavor kind of descriptions. For Pu-erhs, at least. Yeah. It's getting more like of a hay kind of sense to it. I find a lot of the ones that tend to be described as sweet have that hay hit to them. And if you are not used to Pu-erhs or have not tried them and are like, wait, you're saying dirt and hay and earth. Yeah. It's all in a good way, but like some people just do not like this kind of tea. So you gotta try it out, and some of it's kind of an acquired taste. So I'm going to go a couple more steeps in, and then I will update you from there to give you kind of my final thoughts on all of this, because I know we're taking quite a decent amount of time here, so I will be back after a few steeps. So see you then. Alright, so we're back, and I'm on steep 6 or 7. I lost track. I really need to like write things down, especially if I'm filming and talking. Like, I cannot keep track of my steeps or my time. So, but yeah. So, wrap up thoughts of this tea. I will have the tea linked below if you are interested in it. Just so you know. Okay, so I'm finding this tea very light and smooth. It has no bitter hits to it. It's very approachable, and could easily be an everyday drinker, especially for the price. A very nice everyday drinker. It would also be great for beginner drinkers. So if you are looking to get into Pu-erh, this I think would be a good place to start, because it's not overwhelming at all, and it's just very gentle. It's a small little cake to start with. Flavor in the first few steeps is definitely earthy, with this like hint of something in the background that you're not sure what it is, but it is a mineral sweetness actually. So it's got some bits of hay, but it's got this mineral background, and the minerals what's going to make it sweet is what I'm detecting. I'm pretty sure I also burnt my tongue throughout part of this, so how accurate my tastings are right now. And I had some oolong before this, so tastings can always be a little thrown off by various things. I have found with tasting, especially with Pu-erh, having some water to sip in between helps to cleanse out your palate and keep things fresh tasting. Okay, so yeah, so what I found after steep 4, that you lose that earth taste. Like, it's still kind of there, but the big earth taste is not, it's gone. And it develops into this mineral taste, this like rock mineral taste, and that is where the sweetness is coming from. With the earth taste gone. Like, it's this really nice like rock sweetness. And I don't usually like mineral taste too much, but this is actually pretty good, because it's providing that sweetness to it, and then it has that depth to it as well, because I think a lot of times with the mineral stuff, I don't find that it's got that's the only hit note to it. This has some more to it, and kind of the mineralness to it reminds me of Oriental Beauty oolong. That's kind of the level of like that sweet mineralness, if that helps you at all. As I've gone through, it's got a little bit of a Pu-erh body effect to it, body feel to it, but it's not overwhelming. So I've only had a couple that have actually like give me like super like body feel Pu-erhness, but this is just warming and comforting. It's nice. So I've enjoyed this. I do think it's nice. For a lighter Pu-erh, if you're looking for an everyday drinker or looking for somewhere to start in to Pu-erh, this would be, I think, a good place to start. So like I said, I will link it down below if you are interested in that. I will be doing some more tastings here soon. That's probably going to be primarily what my next few videos will be, is tastings. I'm going to do a sencha comparison. I might do a gemaicha comparison too, because I've got a couple of those coming. I have the beautiful new herbal from Fairy Tale Teas coming. So I've got a lot to play around with. Let me know if there's any particular type of tea that you like or you want to learn more into, and I will kind of specify on those different types. Like, most of what I listed was green tea. I love green tea, so we'll go in with that. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe so you know when I upload my new videos. I am going to shoot for trying to get 2 videos per week, so keep on the lookout for that. But thank you all for joining me, and until next time, goodbye!